What is happening here?
What is happening? What is happening here? It's past 10 o'clock now.
Commander Vice, it's Honorable Shonga. Please answer your phone.
Honorable
I'm
Chairperson,
trying
thank
to,
you
I
very
can't, you're
much.
not answering.
Are we starting or we're not starting?
We're just waiting for the chair.
Thing of you must fall.
Please lead us, Komisahle.
Why should we fall?
Yeah. Welcome all members. Let us start the meeting.
Good morning, all
Aye.
honorable members.
When you must fall, man. You can't be late.
That's a coup done by Mkhalif. Let's throw her out, chair.
The whole chairperson of the house, I figure late.
Good morning, all honorable members.
Recording
my
in progress.
my apologies for starting the plenary late. It is not due to my doing, but I think there was a mix-up at the office, but I would have been here at exactly 10 o'clock. I welcome all members who have logged in to the virtual mini-plenary session. There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, before we proceed, I would like to remind you that the virtual mini-plenary is deemed to be in the precinct of Parliament and constitute a meeting of the National Assembly for debating purposes only. In addition to the rules of virtual sittings, the rules of the National Assembly, including the rules of debate, apply. Members enjoy the same powers and privileges that apply in the sitting of the National Assembly. Members the virtual platform is deemed to have been sent to the House and may be ruled upon. All members who have logged in shall be considered to be present and are requested to mute their microphones and only unmute when recognized to speak. This is because the mics are very sensitive and will pick up noise which might disturb the attention of other members. When recognized to speak, please unmute your microphone and where connectivity permits, connect your video. Members may make use of the icons on the bar at the bottom of their screens, which has an option that allows a member to put up his or her hand to raise points of order. The Secretariat will assist in alerting the chairperson to members requesting to speak. When using the virtual system, members are urged to refrain or desist from unnecessary points of order or interjections. Lastly, I wish to remind you that we are meeting in a mini-plenary session and therefore any decisions will be taken in a full plenary session of the Assembly. The first order of the day is the consideration of report of Portfolio Committee on Basic Education on Oversight visit to KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Education Department. We will now proceed to the speakers list. Just a moment, honorable members. I think the office is still sending the speakers list. As I said before, that it is not on my side, but I'm not sure what is happening with the table these days. But yeah, they've not sent also the speakers list. Okay, there we go. I think I have received it now. I will now recognize the chairperson, Honorable T.E. Makakula. Am I audible, honorable members?
Yes, Chair.
Loud and
Yes.
clear.
Honorable Makakula. Honorable Ngobeni.
Morning, Chair. Morning, colleagues. The chairperson of Basic Education is Joy Maimela. It's
No,
Joy Maimela. So I don't know who Makakula is.
Yeah, you know, the table I think has said the wrong thing altogether. Apologies, honorable members, but on my speakers list, I have the first person as Honorable Makakula. I'm not sure, I thought maybe they had spoken before that Honorable Makakula will be the one presenting. And but let's check if Honorable Maimela is here.
House Chair.
Yes, Honorable Law.
Order, House Chair. I've had my hand raised, trying to be a disciplined member, and I've
Okay,
not
I'll
been
recognize
recognized.
you. Honorable Reddy, I will recognize you, don't worry. Honorable Law.
No, thank you very much, House Chair. Honorable Maimela is not available today. Honorable Magagula was be the one who was assigned to do the opening of the report. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I think then I do have the correct speakers list. It's just that, which means Honorable Makakula is not here to open the debate. I'm not sure then. Honorable Reddy?
Yeah. Thank you, Chairperson. What generally happens is you would just call out the party name, and it's possible that the party may change a speaker. They'll just inform you, and that speaker will continue. That is how I understand the procedure to be.
Thank you, Honorable Reddy. But as I said, I know that Honorable Maimela is the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education. But on my speakers list, there's Honorable Makakula. So I thought maybe it is something that they had discussed before. But I'm getting a message now that they can't get hold of Honorable Makakula. I will move on to the next speaker. Can I have...
Honorable Makakula is she's battling with the network. She's connecting from the village, but she is available.
Yeah, but we can't wait up until that time. I'll continue to Honorable
Order, Chair, order.
Oh, Honorable Reddy? No, you can't do that. No, don't do that.
Order.
I can see all the hands here. So you should have raised your hand instead of just opening up your mic. I've just read the guidelines now. There's no need for you to do that.
Chair.
Honorable Shikwambana.
Chair, thank you very much for noting. I just want to check because we seem not to be getting both the chair and the person who was assigned to replace the chair to present the report. Is it going to be procedural for us to continue with the next speakers going forward without the report itself being tabled and presented before?
Correct. Chair, that is the point I wanted to raise. The report must be
Honorable
tabled.
Reddy, I have not recognized you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you
not
did.
recognized you, yes. There was another hand that I saw. Honorable Mkalipi.
Yes, Chair, I concur with Honorable Shikwambana. Please guide us, read us the rule. We can't continue as if the Chair is presenting the report. What are we engaging based on what, Chair? Just quote the rule in order for us to have a way forward. That's what I wanted to raise as well.
Yes, I think the table has sent that since we cannot find Honorable Makakula, I think it's them who have sent the wrong thing, that we must move on to the next speaker on the list, or we won't start as yet. But me as the chairperson, I think maybe you are correct, honorable members. Let us not start and wait for the report to be tabled. I don't know for how long we are going to
My
wait.
hand is up,
Honorable Makakula is seemingly not have not connected as yet. Honorable
My hand is
Mazibuko.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No, Mazibuko, please wait. Honorable Mushala.
No, thanks so much, Chairperson. I think as well, I wanted to support what Honorable Shikwambana has said. But we need to call Honorable Makagula to order. We are all being told to go and find ourselves a proper place where there is network. Parliament cannot wait because someone cannot access network. We are told that she's at the villages somewhere. We normally drive our car when we are at the villages. It's not the only one who stays in the villages. We drive our car, we go somewhere where we can get network. It's really very ill discipline of that member, and the member must be called to order. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable Mazibuko.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for the patience. Honorable Makagula is in the lobby. She says that she is waiting to be accepted. May we please request the admin to accept her? Thank you.
Order.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Low.
No, thanks. I wanted to say Honorable Magagula is also waiting on the lobby. House Chair.
Can we please accept Honorable Makakula so that we are able to start with the report of the Oversight on Basic Education? Whoever is accepting people on waiting, please make sure that you accept Honorable Makakula so that we are able to start. But honestly, this is uncalled for, and I concur with you, honorable members.
Okay.
I didn't think that we will have this kind of a debate today or anything like that, because honestly, if one is told that they are presenting a report, one must be ready at all times to make sure that they are presenting a report. I even apologized on my behalf, but I was ready from 9:30. And I've connected from 9:30 because I knew that if I can get any hurdles, then I must find a place where I'll be able to connect, and we move forward. But nonetheless, I can see that Honorable Makakula is here now. But before you continue, Honorable Makakula, Honorable Kalipi, is that a legacy hand?
Oh, yes, Chair, because she is here.
Chair.
The matter. So
Okay.
I was
Honorable
going to
Reddy, is that yes?
I was going to suggest that because we have two departments that we are going to process today. So I was going to suggest that the COCTA is ready if basic education is not ready, but she's here, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mkalipi. Honorable Reddy, is that a legacy hand?
COCTA is not here.
No, Chair, that's not a legacy hand. I just want us to maintain.
Honorable Reddy, please hold. Honorable Litsi, I did not recognize you, and I don't expect you to do that. Please respect the guidelines of the House. Honorable Reddy.
Apologies, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chair. I mean, I'm glad that we want to keep the decorum of the House. So what I want to know is, if you want to raise a point of order, you raise your hand. It's important that you are being informed by somebody who is monitoring these gestures, that they'll tell you that somebody is raising their hand, because I have my hand raised for quite some time. Just to mention, and it's been covered quite extensively, but there has to be some priority given to these plenaries. I mean, you can't have a chairperson that's sitting in a village, the point has been made, sitting in a village, no signal, and now trying to come in. And if that happens, I suggest we move on, like Honorable Kalipi mentioned, we move on to the next declaration until we are able to get that part in order. I think that would be the way we should do this. Thank you very much, Chairperson. We've already wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, we've dealt with that already. I want to give Honorable Makakula an opportunity, but I see members are raising hands. Honorable Mkize.
Honorable Chairperson, somebody said the COCTA Portfolio Committee is not here, is not ready. It is not true. We are ready. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Makakula, over to you.
Thank you, House Chairperson. Honorable House Chairperson, honorable members, I rise to table the report of the Portfolio Committee on Basic Education on its oversight visit to the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Education Department, conducted from the 23rd to the 28th February 2025. The oversight visit sought to monitor the state of readiness for the 2025 academic year, focusing on infrastructure readiness, learner admission, curriculum rollout, teacher development, safety and security, among other critical areas in the sector. As the Portfolio Committee, we were elated with the incredible strides made to expand educational opportunities to all, including learners with disabilities and of special needs. Concerted efforts must be made to protect and support special needs schools and ensure that our education is inclusive of our learners.
Honorable Makakula.
Needs. Yes.
Honorable Makakula.
House Chair.
Yes, please hold. I think there's a point of order. Honorable Mtetwa, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to all. I think the decent thing that Chairperson Makakula should do is to apologize for delaying the meeting, because it is not only us who are in this meeting. There is also South Africans. There are also South Africans who are watching this. So I think the honest thing or the decent is to apologize for her lateness.
Yes, I'm sure if we're maybe given, I don't want to speak on her behalf. I don't know what she would do, but let's give Honorable Makakula an opportunity to finish with the report, and then we will then proceed to other members. Maybe in her speech she will allude to that. Let us not conclude on what maybe she wanted to firstly deal with because already she's late. Maybe deal with the report before going to that extent of wasting maybe another 1 minute of hers. So can we give an opportunity to finish, and then when she has time that is left, maybe then she will apologize on all honorable members, on all South Africans who are watching. But for now, can we just give an opportunity to finish? Honorable Makakula, over to you.
Thank you, House Chair. Concerted efforts must be made to protect and support special needs schools and ensure that our education is inclusive of our learners' diverse needs and that no learner is left behind. We were also encouraged by progress in the integration of ICT and digital learning platforms, which are integral in ensuring that our learners can keep up and compete in our ever-evolving and development global society. Honorable members, education is a fundamental human right that should be accessible to all our learners, irrespective of their disabilities, race, and socio-economic background. We must continue to address barriers that undermine our efforts to provide equitable and quality education. To this end, the committee makes key recommendations, including agency in fast-tracking the eradication of pit latrines, toilets, filling of all vacant posts, expanding access to scholar transport and school nutrition program, and ensuring adequate resources for early childhood development. We must all be preoccupied with building our shared future through investing in our learners as the custodians of the future we envisage to build. Education is a public good, and in the spirit of Ubuntu, it is our collective responsibility to act in the interest of our children. Through the recommendations, we envisage that we will take greater leaps and bounds in ensuring inclusive education, that all learners are exposed to safe and conducive learning environment. We move that this report be considered. I thank you, Chair. But Chair, before I conclude, I just want to make sure that I apologize and to members and the House. It was unforeseen circumstances, which I can't discuss it here, Chair, but it was unforeseen circumstances, and I profusely apologized, members. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Forgive you, ma'am.
Makakula. Let us proceed then to the second speaker, who's Honorable Christians.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, honorable members, and fellow South Africans, the oversight visit to KwaZulu-Natal was more than a routine parliamentary obligation. It was a window into the lived realities of learners and teachers navigating an education system that, while showing signs of progress, still carries too many burdens. We saw commitment, principals who have turned schools into beacons of hope, despite limited resources, teachers who arrive each day determined to give their best, and learners who are hungry for opportunity. One of the most pressing concerns that emerged during our oversight was the implementation of the National School Nutrition Program. While the program remains one of government's most important interventions in the lives of our learners, its delivery in parts of KwaZulu-Natal is faltering, and the consequences are deeply personal. The NSNP is a lifeline for more than 9 million children across the country, but a lifeline cannot be sporadic. It must be reliable, consistent, and sensitive to the realities of rural and under-resourced schools. We are not just speaking of logistics, we are speaking of hungry children. Recent challenges with the school nutrition program in KwaZulu-Natal highlight the need for more reliable implementation. While systems are in place, what we found during the oversight is that they often fail to protect the very children they are meant to serve. In some schools, the food deliveries were inconsistent. In others, the portions were too small to sustain learners through the school day. We heard from educators who expressed the pain of watching learners try to focus while visibly hungry. We cannot build a skilled, empowered nation if learners cannot concentrate because of hunger. The intention of the NSNP is noble, but intention is not enough. Delivery matters, implementation matters, and monitoring is critical. That is the responsibility not just of the province, but also of the national department. We must insist on systems that ensure real-time tracking, stronger accountability from service providers, and timely interventions when things go wrong. We also visited special schools like Harding and Stanger training centers, where both the triumphs and trials of inclusive education were evident. In Harding, staff are doing exceptional work to support learners with multiple and profound disabilities, but these schools operate under immense strain. We saw staffing shortages, outdated equipment, and infrastructure needs that compromise the ability to deliver the kind of quality education that every learner deserves, regardless of ability. It is clear that if we are to realize the promise of equity in education, special schools must be given more symbolic support. They must be prioritized in planning, funding, and human resource allocation. We cannot expect these schools to function effectively when posts for nurses, therapists, and house mothers remain unfilled, and when equipment required for therapy and mobility remains outdated or absent. Infrastructure remains a broader challenge across many of the schools we visited, from overcrowded classrooms in Groudville to buildings left incomplete due to stalled projects. The impact of budgetary constraints was raised repeatedly. And of course, we must acknowledge the genuine fiscal pressures faced by provinces, but we must find creative ways to partner with other spheres of government, the private sector, and communities to close these gaps. Because for every day a classroom stands incomplete, there are learners waiting outside, their education delayed. Despite these challenges, Chair, I want to acknowledge the progress we are seeing. Admissions in several schools were well managed. Textbooks were delivered on time in many instances. Learner-teacher support material, where it reached schools, was used effectively. Schools like Gugulezizwe We saw matric results that speak to the resilience and tenacity of both learners and staff. That tells us the system is capable of delivering excellence when properly supported. To the learners of KwaZulu-Natal, we saw you, we heard your hopes and your frustrations. To the teachers and principals, you carry an extraordinary load, and many of you do so with incredible integrity. Chair, let this report be more than a document. It must be a call to action, one that reminds us that the future of our country walks through the gates of our public schools each morning. And they deserve every single resource, every ounce of effort, and every commitment we can muster. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We'll now proceed to, there's no speaker from the MK that is listed here, but we'll give MK an opportunity.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Speaker, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Honorable Shongwe.
Thank
Continue.
you. Honorable Speaker, what we saw during our oversight visit to KwaZulu-Natal has left a deep wound on the conscience of this nation. The public education is falling apart and the government of no unity is doing nothing to stop it. We visited a classroom with 77 learners squeezed into a space meant for 30. We saw children with disabilities left in buildings that have no ramps, no proper toilets, no learning support. In some areas, learners still walk long and unsafe roads to school because the transport budget has vanished into thin air. These are not isolated incidents. This is a daily reality for millions of South African children. Now we speak directly to the issue that the department has failed to address, the no-fee schools. These schools serve the poorest of poor, yet they receive no funding allocation. Zero, if I may say, Chair. How can school function without water, electricity, textbook, or even chalk? How are principals supposed to manage schools when they are left with nothing? We salute the educators and principals who continue to serve under such disgraceful conditions. We know you are deep into your own pockets when you work late with no overtime unpaid, but we also know your spirit is being broken at the same time. Let us be blunt, Chair. There is no future for the black child if this is the state of the public education. The school system has collapsed and the Department of Education is fiddling with reports and protocols while school decay in real time. The so-called GNU, this alliance of convenience, has failed to prioritize education. It is happy to pour money into vanity projects, but when it comes to public school, there is silence, no agents, no leadership, no plan. Speaker, MK Party is not here to decorate this crisis with statistics. We are here to demand action. Number one, release immediate emergency funding for the no school fees. Restore dignity to our school infrastructure by fast-tracking the elimination of pit toilets. Hold officials accountable for failing to deliver transport, safety, and support for our children. Protect our girls by fully funding social programs that were cut and which led over 17,000 school girl pregnancies last year. We will not sit quietly while another generation is left behind. The MK Party would fight alongside educators, parents, and communities until the public education is fixed. And Chair, not on paper, but on the ground. As MK Party, we reject this report with content. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We'll now go to Honorable Shikwamban.
Thank you, House Chair. Greetings to the fearless Commander-in-Chief, President of the Economic Freedom Fighters, CIC Julius Malema, officials, commissars, fighters, and fellow South Africans. This report before us lays bare the catastrophic state of education in KwaZulu-Natal. This is not the result of natural disaster, but rather a direct consequence of the gross mismanagement, neglect, and systemic incompetence of the ANC-DA coalition government in the province. Across the schools we visited, one reality stands out with painful clarity. Our school learners are being failed. They are crammed into overcrowded classrooms, forced to learn without adequate toilets, without sufficient teachers, and stripped of their basic human dignity. At institutions like Harding Special School, the situation is even more shameful. This special needs school operates without functional ablution facilities, without a sick room, without a full-time medical personnel, and without the basic infrastructure necessary for learning and care. This is not just administrative failure. It is a national disgrace of the highest order. Schools rely on broken boreholes, pit latrines, and promises. Principal beg for nurses' posts, therapists, and proper security. Learners with disabilities are crammed into under-resourced facilities while this government throws slogans instead of solutions. We are told that the department cannot deliver because of budget constraints and so-called fiscal prudence. Yet when it comes to awarding tenders to comrades and channeling funds through corrupt contracts, money is always available. But for the black child in rural village who walks long distance to school, who learns in a mud school, who goes hungry, there's no money available. The truth is glaring. This government only remembers black children when it's time to campaign for votes. Let us be clear, House Chair. Education is a constitutional right, not a favor. Yet, under this confused government of national unity, GNU, it has been reduced to an afterthought. As the EFF, we hold firmly that learners must come first, not tenders, not cadre deployment, and certainly not the self-preservation of corrupt politicians. We support the adoption of this report, not because we endorse the action of this government, but because the truth it contains is damning and must be placed on record. The EFF will continue to fight for free, quality, and decolonized education for every child from the rural village to the urban township. We demand accountability, agency, and justice in delivering basic education. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We will now proceed to Honorable Ngobo.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The IFP notes the report as a necessary and urgent call for accountability and reform in the Department of Basic Education. As IFP, we reiterate that quality education is the cornerstone of the national development, and we therefore support the demand for political heads to be present in the committee engagements to ensure political accountability. We further endorse the call for timely delivery of workbooks, the fair placement of Fundalusha graduates, and the eradication of the late payments to service providers and students. The disparities in the National School Nutrition Program must be addressed decisively to ensure that child is not left behind. The IFP also urges immediate support for grade R practitioners to meet qualifications, requirements, and demands a stronger model for training school governing body members. Finally, we stress the need for ICT integration into rural schools and a more sustainable NP through interdepartmental collaboration. Accountability must be enforced. In light of the above issues that have been raised, the IFP accepts this report. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We'll now go to Honorable Ngobeni. Honorable Ngobeni,
thank you, Chair. Sorry, the buttons were eluding me. Good morning, colleagues. Honorable House Chair, Action SA would like to commend the committee for its detailed and sobering assessment, and we share both the hope and the concern captured in its findings. We are encouraged by pockets of progress like Gugulesizwe Senior Secondary, which continue to produce strong matric results under challenging circumstances, thanks to the commitment of educators and principals who work tirelessly to provide quality learning despite limited resources. We acknowledge the innovation at centers like Harding Special School, where assistive technologies are being used to empower learners with disabilities, and the commendable work at Stanger LSEN Training Center. However, these successes are the exception, not the rule. The broader picture is one of severe and ongoing systemic dysfunction. Budget constraints and poor planning are strangling the provincial education system. Critical infrastructure remains incomplete or dilapidated, and the continued use of pit latrines in some schools is nothing short of a national shame. Learner transport remains dangerously unreliable, leading to dropouts and daily risks for children in rural areas. Throughout, broadly implemented programs like nutrition programs often lack the capacity to meet the needs of learners attending extended classes. Schools suffer from frozen posts and a lack of medical personnel, therapists, and security. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, to truly prioritize education, we must start by ending the tolerance for delay, dysfunction, and underperformance. Action SA supports the committee's recommendations, and we call for immediate, transparent delivery timelines and stronger non-performance accountability. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. ACDP. ACDP. Okay, we move on. Honorable Non-Danger. UDM. Okay, we'll move on. Rise. Rise. There's no one. ATM. ATM. Al-Jama. Al-Jama. NCC. NCC. UAT. UAT. Honorable Low.
Honorable House Chair, good morning. The African National Congress supports the report of the Portfolio Committee on its oversight visit to KwaZulu-Natal and National Provincial Education Department. As the ANC were encouraged by the strides made at schools like Gugule Sizwe Senior Secondary School, where a thriving food garden initiative is being used to supplement learner nutrition and support afternoon classes. This, combined with the school's high academic performance, is a testament to what is possible when communities, learners, and schools work together. In line with the ANC National Democratic Revolution vision, which emphasizes the importance of education as a key driver for socio-economic transformation, we commend Harding Special School. Despite extremely difficult conditions, it continues to offer comprehensive education to learners with disabilities, autism, and cerebral palsy, and embodying the ANC commitment to inclusive education. We also recognize the strides of Stranger Silent LSN's Training Center in their efforts to leverage public-private partnerships and community support to stimulate inclusive education and vocational training. These initiatives reflect our collective determination to build a society in which every learner has an opportunity to thrive and contribute to a transformed South Africa. Honorable members, the inroads into the education sector did not occur out of vacuum. They reflect reflective of the ongoing efforts of our government, educators, learners, civil society, and private sector's investment towards realizing the vision of the Freedom Charter and ensuring that all doors to education are open for all. These are the democratic gains of the past 30 years that we must all jealously guard and continue to collectively advance in ensuring that each and every child is given equitable opportunities to realize their potential and to make sure that it responds to the current demands of the economy of the country. As the African National Congress, we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring that education remains an instrument for development and transformation. That education is accessible to all as a tool for personal development and social mobility. It is against this background that the ANC supported the committee's recommendation to modernize the education sector, address overcrowding, teenage pregnancy, gender-based violence, and also seek to look and assist in making sure that the province has access to resources to respond to all inefficiencies that are there in the province. We support the recommendations for a greater support for special schools and combating social ills such as bullying, and substance abuse that continue to plunge our communities and to rob our learners' potentials. The ANC, Honorable House Chair, also affirms its commitment to the full and successful implementation of the BELA Act as a transformative instrument for breaking historical barriers to academic access. In this regard, the BELA Act must be appreciated for what it really is, a strategy to redress structural and systematic inequalities in education that have far too long undermined our efforts to social cohesion and nation building. Honourable members, access to quality education cannot be treated like a privilege for a select minority. It is a constitutional right and a developmental imperative, and therefore no learner, no child must be denied an opportunity to realize their potential because of poverty, race, or disability. It is through these strides and collective efforts that we can attain a more just, inclusive, and prosperous.
Honorable Law.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, please hold. There's a hand. Honorable Reddy, is that a point of order?
Yes, it is, Honorable House Chair.
Yes.
The previous speaker, is misleading this House. I don't know which country he's talking about, because if you read the report very carefully,
Honorable Reddy,
what he's saying is happening on the ground.
Honorable Reddy, what is your point of order?
My point of order is that the House is being misled because our children are not getting proper opportunities in public schools. And this member should know that. I don't know what country he's talking about.
Honorable Reddy, that is not a point of order. Can we please allow the speaker to conclude?
I will. Thank you. My apologies.
Honorable Mthethwa.
Can you please apply the rules? Honorable Reddy cannot continuously abuse us with these frivolous orders.
Sorry, I just raised one point of order. What are you talking about?
Honorable Reddy, no one recognized you.
Can he state the rules before he tells us about frivolous orders, please? He's abusing us, continuously abusing us. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mthethwa. I saw a hand of Honorable Letsie. I'm not sure if you are covered.
No, thank you very much. I was clapping hands. I agree with Honorable Mthethwa. Please protect.
Oh, okay. All right.
Protect us from
honorable members, specifically Honorable Reddy. I did say that is not a point of order. You should have then let it be at that time. But you continue speaking while you have been not recognized, while I've recognized another member, and you continue speaking. Please, can you stop doing that? Or I will ask ICT to remove you from the platform, because we can't allow that you abuse us in this manner and abuse all the opportunities that you are given by Parliament to be able to raise point of orders. Can we now allow Honorable Law to continue with his speech? And please, Honorable Reddy, make sure that you only speak when you are recognized, not when you are not. Thank you. Honorable Law, please continue.
Thank you, House Chair. Access to House Chair, I'm going to start from the paragraph as I was disturbed. Access to quality education cannot be treated like a privilege for a select minority. It is a constitutional right and a developmental imperative, and therefore no child must be denied an opportunity to realize their potential because of poverty, race, or disability. It is through these strides and collective efforts that we can attain more just, inclusive, and prosperous South Africa. By investing in education, we are not just fostering individual growth, we are laying the foundation for a stronger, more equitable society. Education empowers individuals to break the cycles of poverty, enhances social cohesion, and drives economic development. As we commit to create a nurturing environment for all learners, we must also ensure that our educational policies are designed to be responsive to the diverse needs of our population. This includes providing adequate resources, training for educators, and support structures that cater for every child, regardless of their background. It is important to join hands in making sure that we build a brighter future where each and every child, regardless of their background, circumstances, has the tools and opportunities they need to thrive. In doing so, we will not only uplift our learners in terms of in their communities, but will also contribute to the collective strength of our nation. We can forge a path toward a brighter future for our learners and our education system, where each and every one of us contribute, and each and every one of us contribute much more and make sure that we've got a just and equitable society. So, House Chair, allow me also to reiterate to say that we have noted all of the concerns and we are quite content on all of the challenges. And we have brought this report. If you look at the recommendations, they are quite content. They are clear to respond on issues affecting South Africa and much more on the KZN issue, where we will realize that KZN is encountered by transport issues, which we have engaged the National Department to make sure that they commit to such through our recommendations. Having to say that, I wish to thank you and I wish to leave this host to Honorable Reddy. Peace be unto you, Amanga.
Thank you, Honorable Member. That concludes the debate. We shall now proceed to the second order, which is the consideration of report of Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training on oversight visit to North West and Gauteng Post-School Education and Training Institution on 27 till the 31st January 2025. I now wish to recognize the Honorable Chairperson of Higher Education, Honorable Letsie.
No, thank you very much, House Chairperson. Let's take this opportunity to appreciate the opportunity given to us. As I rise to present the report on Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training, following our oversight visit to PSET institutions in the North West and Gauteng provinces from the 27th to the 31st of January 2025. The oversight visit sought to assess the state of readiness of PSET institutions in these two provinces, focusing on enrollment processes, funding for new and returning students, student accommodation provisions, amongst other imperatives. The committee found commendable efforts, such as at the Northwest University, where new facilities now house campus protection services and response decisively to gender-based violence, and at Vuselela Tibet College, despite student frustration with a slow registration process, progress in NSFAS application processing was noted. At Orbit Tibet College, which stood out with its artificial intelligence exhibition hall and an award-winning smart home innovation designed for the deaf, demonstrating the real potential of student-led innovation. Notwithstanding these positive strides, several challenges were also noted, such as the shortage of accredited student accommodation, which exacerbated by the delays in inclusions of some institutions in the NSFAS accommodation pilot, aging infrastructure, strained relationship between organized labor and management in some institutions, and governance issues, such as the disclaimer audit opinion at Taleto Tibet College, which highlight the need for urgent reform. To this end, the committee has made critical recommendations, such as the immediate implementation of the central application system, strengthened communication between NSFAS and institutions, enhanced infrastructure maintenance, programs that leverage student capabilities, a review of the defunding of NSFAS-funded students during the academic year. House Chair, education remains a fundamental pillar for eradicating our nation's persistent poverty, inequality, and unemployment challenges. Thus, we must make a concerted effort to not only expand the PSET sector, but enhance its quality, relevance, innovation, and ability to drive sustainable development and socio-economic transformation. It is in this regard that I tabled this report for consideration and adoption. Thank you very much, House Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We will now proceed to Honorable Masego.
Thank you very much, House Chair. House Chair, the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training saw a skew scenario following our oversight visit to institutions of higher learning and training in the provinces of North West and Gauteng that we conducted from the 27th to the 31st of January 2025. Our visit focused on assessing the readiness of institutions for the 2025 academic year and engaging on matters related to governance, teaching and learning, infrastructure, and student support. The institutions we visited included North West University, Tshwane University of Technology, Vuselela, Taletso, and Orbit TVET colleges, as well as the North West CET College. Honorable members, we commend institutions for being ready to commence the academic year. However, serious challenges continue to impede progress in the sector, and this include ongoing delays in NSFAS disbursements, with the direct payment system providing ineffective and frustrating both institutions and students. Many students, particularly those classified as the missing middle, remain excluded from accessing higher education due to financial constraints. Infrastructure backlogs persist, especially in TVET colleges. We saw residences that are poorly maintained, posing health and safety risks. Some institutions lack proper classrooms, workshops, and even Wi-Fi, while others rely on outdated equipment. Student accommodation shortages remain a crisis. Students are often forced to travel long distances or live in unsafe off-campus housing. Staffing instability caused by lengthy acting appointments and unfilled vacancies undermines effective teaching and leadership. Blended learning and overcrowded classrooms continue to challenge academic success and contribute to dropout rates, which are largely due to financial hardships. We are especially concerned by the condition of the community education and training sector. These institutions are under-resourced, lack infrastructure, and rely on shared school facilities. This not only operational autonomy, but also erodes the dignity of adult and out-of-school learners. House Chair, our committee calls for the following: urgent intervention in TVET and CET sectors, including increased funding, infrastructure development, and a review of the CET model. A comprehensive review of NSFAS operations, especially the pilot payment system and funding criteria for the missing middle. Innovative funding mechanisms for infrastructure expansions, especially for student housing and digital connectivity. A coordinated national strategy to support TVET and CET institutions are engines for economic transformation, particularly in artisan development. Review of legislative framework to address system governance, funding, and accountability issues in the post-school education and training sector. Honorable members, the future of our country lies in the accessibility and functionality and creditability of our education system. We cannot delay in acting decisively. We must support our institutions so they can, in turn, support our learners and our economy. Democratic Alliance support this report. I thank you, House Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Let's proceed to the MK. There is no member that is listed here.
No, thank you very much, House Chair. This is Honorable Msezane, House Chairperson, people of South Africa, revolutionary greetings. This country's higher education system is in serious trouble, and the ones that are suffering the most are the poor and the working class students who rely on it for a better future. During the oversight visit to the universities and TVET colleges in the North West and Gauteng, what we witnessed was not readiness, it was chaos. Students stood in long queues for hours because of a broken registration system and poor communication. Many had applied on time, but still did not know whether they were accepted. Some traveled across provinces just to be told to go back home. The biggest contributor to this crisis is NSFAS, a scheme that was meant to open doors, but now shuts them. In the recent NSFAS oversight visit, or oversight meeting in Parliament rather, officials could not even explain how funding decisions are made and why so many students are defunded mid-year without any alternative funding. Appeals go unprocessed for many months, allowances are delayed, exposing students to criminality and inhumane conditions. Thousands are forced to drop out if NSFAS can. Thousands of students are forced to drop out. If NSFAS cannot account to Parliament, it certainly cannot account to the students. Student accommodation in the TVET sector are falling apart, with certain colleges housing students in private accommodation that is not credited by NSFAS or monitored by institutions, in particular in the Northwest province. Some have no clean water, no security, and as I've said above, infrastructure is falling apart. The institutions, particularly TVET colleges in the Northwest, had no textbooks or timeline of arrival, yet classes had already commenced. In Taung, a student was murdered in a crime-ridden area where students are forced to live because of lack of proper housing of students. This is not just neglect, it is an endangerment of students. We observed in colleges like Teletso receiving their disclaimer audits, the worst possible outcome, while accusations of corruption, mismanagement, and irregular appointments fly around without any consequence. The CT College in the Northwest is trying to serve a whole province with only 8 staff in their head office. Infrastructure is crumbling and the support is almost non-existent. House Chair, this is a national emergency. There is serious maladministration, collapse of governance, and corruption takes place without any officials being held to account. This is simply because the Minister of Higher Education and Training has failed to fill critical executive positions. Across the TVET sector, there are at least 13 out of 50 TVET colleges with acting principals. Mindless to say that when acting principals are in office, they are rotated at 6 months basis across the vacant positions. And there's even more acting deputy principals across the sector. It also should be noted that these responsibilities of acting are not paid for. The system is collapsing under the weight of poor leadership, underfunding, corruption, and complete disconnect between policy and reality. As the MK party, we do not only highlight problems, but we also propose solutions. We call for a full overhaul of NSFAS, replacing the current system with a transparent, efficient, student-centered funding model that includes real-time communication, better appeals processing, and oversight. An emergency infrastructure fund for TVET colleges in the main and universities to fix student accommodation, lecture halls, and essential facilities, especially in the rural campuses. We call for campus clinics to be put in place in the TVET sector. A national housing plan that enforces decent accommodation and safety standards, a strong accountability and forensic audits in institutions with repeated financial mismanagement, including criminal consequences when necessary. A higher education task team to be focused on and monitor student experience, staff conditions, and mismanagement.
Honorable Msezana.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
your time has expired.
No, thank you very much, Chairperson. As a parting shot, as the MK party, we will not watch while this failing government continues to fail students in our watch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The EFF, there's no speaker that is listed here.
No, I will take it. Thank you, Chair. The
Okay,
Economic Freedom Fighters notes the report on the oversight visits of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, Northwest University, Vuselela, Daletso, Orbit TVET College, CET College in the Northwest, Tshwane University of Technology. What is clear from this report, Chair, is what we as the Economic Freedom Fighters have been saying all along. Corruption and maladministration have become embedded in the institutions meant to serve the educational needs of our people. The National Student Financial Aid Scheme, TVET colleges, universities, now the CETAs. But today we speak not only of these challenges, we equally speak of victory. The tireless efforts of the EFF inside and outside of Parliament have started to bear fruit. Through fearless oversight, relentless exposure of wrongdoing, and consistent pressure for accountability, we have forced the system to confront its rot and correct the wrongs. We have led campaigns that brought the crisis at NSFAS into public spotlight, exposing the disastrous implementation of the direct payment system, mismanagement of student data, and financial irregularities that left thousands of students stranded and homeless. Because of our intervention, structural reforms are now unavoidable. At TVET colleges, where infrastructure crumbles and management is often complicit in mismanagement, we have insisted unapologetically on student representation, better conditions, and functional accountability systems. This is not the end, Chair. It is only the beginning. Our victory is not merely in uncovering corruption, but equally in building an education system that serves the children of the working class and the poor with dignity, integrity, and fairness. In closing, we must thank the EFF for confronting the illegal and undue process in the appointment of chairpersons of SETA boards, even when an illegitimate and unethical portfolio committee chairperson tried to silence us by removing us from parliament. We defeated him because the process was scrapped and is now reopened. We make a simple plea to the minister. If indeed she has nothing to hide, if indeed she doesn't want to continue with the looting and corruption in the SETAs, let the interviews of SETA board chairpersons be made public. These people are going to be presiding over close to 26 billion rands of public money. These billions are meant for skills development. The public deserves to know who are these individuals who are going to be presiding over this budget. We're tired of the stealing of money meant for young people, putting family members, putting girlfriends, putting children, putting ANC comrades. Make the interviews public, Minister, so that the people of South Africa can see, so that the youth of this country can see who is going to preside over our 26 billion rand of public funds, who is going to preside over skills development in South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We'll proceed to Honorable Zondo.
Thanks, Chairperson. Institutions of higher learning remains essential to South Africa's development as a public goods, and they must be protected, supported, and equitably resourced. In the democracy of South Africa, all institutions must receive the necessary support to fulfill their role in upskilling and empowering citizens. The IFP remains deeply concerned with the shortage of student accommodation, the maladministration, the corruption that is happening in these local sector institutions, and the consequences that is not being given to those who are perpetrators of the corruption and maladministration. We have repeatedly highlighted the difficult and often inhumane condition many students face, which are not conducive to academic success. And as far as the Department of Higher Education and the Portfolio Committee, working in cooperation with the private sector, must ensure that
Honorable Zondo, I think we have lost you. I'm not sure if all honorable members can still hear Honorable Zondo.
No,
No, we
he's-
don't. No.
No, we don't. And we told you about this thing of meeting here. He's in order.
Honorable Zondo, we have lost you.
Honorable Zondo left the platform, Chair.
Or maybe it's the issue of network. Okay, let's move on to Honorable Sals and we'll come back to Honorable Zondo. Honorable Sals.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Chair. We note and support the oversight report as tabled. We would further like to emphasize that reports of this nature should speak directly and no longer just indirectly to the current unpatriotic trend in our institutions of higher learning, where foreign nationals are being preferred for employment over and above South African citizens by birth, resulting in qualified South African academics being jobless and or stagnant in junior positions. For example, at the North West University, there are cases like a South African-born professor, Elizabeth Smith, who was allegedly replaced in a managerial post by Mr. Dube, a 34-year-old male foreign national born in Zimbabwe, and allegedly denied a deputy dean position in favor of Nigerian-born male, Professor Use, despite her qualifications and over 20 years' experience. The greater evil is that this is done by our own, to our own. Pira malachim. It must stop. Ons baizane, ons muni baizane. We should not fear being considered xenophobic because we know deep in our hearts that we are actually patriotic. We must put South Africans first. Goedes moet balance. I repeat, Honorable Chair, the issue is not that they are merely foreign nationals. We do not hate our fellow African brothers and sisters. We hate the systematic denial of qualified South Africans from enjoying their birthright to jobs and opportunities in the public sector and specifically in our institutions of higher learning. Die goedes moet balance. Salute, Honorable Chair. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Zondo, you will alert us when you are back, but we'll move on to Honorable Boshoff.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think if one looks at any report on higher education, you can nearly just fill in the places and the specific institutions. There will be some problems with governance. There will be problems with student accommodation. There will be problems with NSFAS payments. There will be a chance of violence because of the lack or the lateness of NSFAS payments. Universities generally perform better, but not always. TVETs generally perform less well, but not always. And CETs struggle to get off the ground because of budgetary constraints. Furthermore, it will seem as if budget is tilted towards universities and not towards TVET colleges, although it is a good thing that the report also states that NSFAS payments for students for the stipends will be equal between the two types of students, of course, who have similar living expenses, just different study directions. Now, this is what we have with the oversight visit in Gauteng and Northwest, looking at the Northwest University, which is quite well run. The Tshwane South College, which is also relatively well run, and more problems with some of the other colleges, Parktown and also the Orbit College. I think it is important that the whole NSFAS problem should be solved. NSFAS is not equipped for what it has to do. It does not have the ICT. It does not have the human capacity to do what it should. And this is a running disaster which should be solved. And we have had some suggestions in that regard. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Action Essay. There's no speaker that is listed.
Thank you, House Chair. I'll be speaking on that. My greetings outstretched to the House at large and the rest of South Africa that's joining us on the online platform. House Chair, the Portfolio Committee's Oversight Report on the readiness of post-school education and training institutions for the 2025 academic year highlights real concerns about the sector. We appreciate the progress some institutions have made, but remain deeply concerned about ongoing systemic issues that continue to block student access and undermine performance. It's encouraging to see innovation at institutions like Orbit and Tshwane University of Technology, where AI and entrepreneurship hubs are being used to promote skills development and open up economic opportunities. North West University's step towards launching the province's first medical school also deserve recognition as a major milestone. But these highlights can't hide the serious problems still affecting the sector. Daleto TVET College, for example, received a disclaimer audit opinion raising serious red flags about governance and financial accountability. Across many TVET colleges, the same challenges keep coming up. Too few beds and student accommodation, delayed NSFAS payments, and crumbling infrastructure. Tragically, These failures have real-life consequences, like the recent death of a Vuselela student living in unsafe private accommodation. At TUT, broken labor relations, deteriorating facilities, and the defunding of over 1,000 NSFAS students in 2024 signal a worrying collapse in administration that puts students' futures at risk. While the closure of TUT, an institution that clearly failed, is a step in the right direction, it's not nearly enough. We support the committee's recommendations, particularly those aimed at fixing infrastructure, improving NSFAS systems, and strengthening engagement with all stakeholders. Action SA endorses this report, but we also call for urgent and bold reforms. The students in our PSET system deserve better, and they must not be failed by a system that is meant to empower them. Thank you, House Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member. ACTP. ACTP. UDM. UDM. Rise. Rise. ATM. ATM. Al-Jama. Al-Jama. NCC. NCC. UAT. UAT. Honorable Khabo, over to you.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Honorable Speaker, Honorable House Chair, Honorable Members, the Mighty African National Congress proudly welcomes the tabling of the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education and Training Oversight report following its visit to the post-school education and training PSET institutions in the North West and Gauteng province. We commend the North West University for turning vision into reality. The establishment of the province's first medical school stands as a testament to a transformative power of education. It embodies the principle that it is through education, I quote, "It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor," close quotation. This achievement is not just an institutional progress. It represents the dismantling of generational poverty and inequality, opening the doors for future leaders. However, the report also exposes stark realities, highlighting the ongoing challenges that hinders the ANC, deeply concerned by the several critical issues that persist in our institutions and demand urgent intervention. These include the imposition of application fees that continues to exclude students from poor households, the unacceptable delays in issuing of certificates, depriving graduates of economic opportunities, a severe shortage of student accommodation with a violation of DHET norms and standards, and the absence of residents at TVET College, which jeopardizes students' safety. We are deeply concerned about the ongoing governance instability, delayed delivery of essential learning materials, and the absence of recreational facilities, particularly in rural campuses. Most alarming is the slow pace at which the structural barriers to education are being addressed, allowing inequality to persist. During our recent visit to Dr. to Northwest Province, we have also observed that there is an absence of a dedicated technical and vocational training college within the district of Dr. Mompati, which significantly hinders local student access to quality vocational education. Currently, students from 5 local municipalities are compelled to travel approximately 226 kilometers to Taung satellite campus of Vuselela TVET College. This distance poses logistical challenges and financial burdens, particularly for students from low-income background. It cannot be correct that, House Chair, in other districts, in fact, all districts, if not the majority of districts in this country, we've got TVET colleges, and yet again in the Northwest Province, you've got one district that does not have a TVET college. While we acknowledge positive strides such as the successful implementation of online registration at Northwest colleges and the elimination of application fees in some PSET institutions, we urge further acceleration of these initiatives. These include renaming student residence to reflect our democratic values and decisive action on student housing through expropriation without compensation. As the ANC, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to holding the executive accountable. We will continue to champion increased public investment, governance reforms, and targeted support for historically disadvantaged institutions. Empowering our youth is not a choice, it is an imperative for the future of our nation. A country that neglects its youth forsakes its future, but a country that uplifts its youth will ignite a transformative force for generations to come. The ANC will not rest up until young people of South Africa are equipped with opportunities, tools, and hope to rise and lead again. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We shall now proceed. That concludes the debate, and we shall now proceed to the last order, which is the consideration of report of Portfolio Committee on Corporate Governance and Traditional Affairs on oversight visit to Ethekwini, Msunduzi, and Ugu municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal. I will now recognize the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Dr. Mkhize. Dr. Mkhize.
I'm sorry, I was muted, sorry.
Over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Honorable Chairperson. I rise to table the COCTA portfolio report on the oversight visit conducted in KwaZulu-Natal on the 11th to 17th October last year, focusing on Ethekwini, Ugu, Msunduzi, as well as Mhlathuze to assess their functionality. Since KwaZulu-Natal has 7 dysfunctional municipalities and 8 municipalities under Section 139 intervention. The committee observed several overarching challenges in all municipalities, more glaring during community engagements. These are high unaffordable water bills and poor management of indigent registers, creating huge burden for the poor who cannot afford to pay for services due to high unemployment and poverty, decaying and poorly maintained infrastructure, illegal connections, mushrooming informal settlements, and unplanned urbanization. The audit outcomes include inappropriate managerial skills, supply chain irregularities, inadequate revenue collection, and financial mismanagement. And the committee recommended to ensuring accountability, particularly corrective measures to address unauthorized, irregular, fruitless, wasteful expenditure with investigations and consequent management, and closely monitor the preparedness on disaster management. In Ethekwini, the Presidential Working Group and Section 154 from the province were introduced because of the deterioration in water and sewage treatment plants. And this has caused water shortage in communities and contamination of affected sectors, particularly tourism, with threats of business relocation. However, there is improvement through the adoption of a fully funded budget now in Ethekwini, with cash surplus and zero debt to Eskom water and other water boards, and significantly reduced service delivery protest. Msunduzi, a hung municipality, but politically stable. There were serious challenges of water, electricity supply to communities with potholes, poor refuse removals, and filth. Consequently, the municipality has been on 2 occasions on Section 139 of the Constitution. It's also under debt relief program by Treasury, and this has resulted from the poor revenue collection as well. Ugu has got chronic water shortage because of mass influx of residents, but it's no longer on the dysfunctional list because spending was on infrastructure was 100%. The committee also visited Amakosi in Richards Bay, where Nkosi Dube, Sokulu, Mbonambi, Mkhwanazi had dissatisfaction with the treatment from RBM, which is mining in their area. And this, the RBM has gone to court to challenge the community trust, but has lost the case. As a community, we're sympathetic, as a committee, we're sympathetic to the community plight, and we're recommending that this matter must be referred to the Minister of Mineral and Energy Affairs, and we have communicated so. This report was adopted by the Portfolio Committee, and we seek approval for the adoption by the House. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We'll now move to the next speaker, which is Honorable Fanzil.
Thank you, Chairperson. I rise today not only with concern, but with deep dismay at the conditions under which so many of our people are forced to live. Conditions laid bare in the Portfolio Committee on Cooperative's Oversight report on Ethekwini, Msunduzi and Ugu municipalities. What we have seen is not mere dysfunction, it is failure. It is institutional decay. It is, frankly, a betrayal of the social contract between the state and its people. This report represents a harrowing account of the dire circumstances in which residents are trapped. In these municipalities, communities live without consistent access to water, sanitation, refuse removal, or lighting. People walk kilometers to fetch dirty water. Raw sewage flows in the streets. Streetlights remain broken for months, plunging entire neighborhoods into darkness and danger. But worse than the infrastructural collapse is the betrayal by those elected to serve. These municipalities have become machines for patronage and personal gain. They no longer serve the people, they serve themselves. Honourable members, this is not mismanagement. It is systemic abuse. Municipalities are spending money on non-core, non-mandated projects. Vanity conferences, luxury vehicles, inflated salaries, and even football sponsorships. Msunduzi spent 27 million rand on sponsoring Royal AM Football Club while its residents endured crippling service delivery failures. We saw budgets allocated for unnecessary training workshops in luxury venues, while wastewater treatment plants remain in collapse. In one municipality, the procurement of a mayoral SUV took precedence over repairing a broken sanitation system, which begs the question, where exactly are their priorities? The report shows that many municipalities ignore Treasury guidelines, sidestep service delivery imperatives, and instead entrench procurement irregularities and cadre deployment networks. This is not a question of capacity, it is a question of political will. The people are not asking for miracles, they are asking for water, for dignity, for basic constitutional rights. We were elected to serve, not to enrich ourselves at the expense of those who placed their trust in us. The reports make it clear that communities have been treated with contempt. They are seen not as citizens to be served, but as obstacles to be ignored. When residents speak out, they are met with silence or repression. When whistleblowers raise alarms, they are targeted, not protected. And so, what is the result? Protest, disillusionment, lawlessness, and collapse. Honourable Chair, we cannot speak of building a capable developmental state while municipalities are hollowed out year after year without consequence. We cannot speak of service delivery while funds are wasted on prestige projects and unfunded mandates. We cannot keep throwing money into broken systems without demanding reform, accountability, and performance. The time has come to act. Firstly, every cent of municipal spending must be monitored and directed only to core, constitutionally mandated service delivery, water, sanitation, electricity, waste management, roads, and housing. Treasury must enforce conditional grants with strict consequences for misallocation. Secondly, consequence management must be enforced. Officials who sign off on illegal or wasteful expenditure must face disciplinary action, civil recovery, and criminal prosecution where applicable. Lastly, where municipalities have collapsed, national and provincial governments must exercise their Section 139 responsibilities, not indefinitely, but decisively, to restore governance, root out corruption, and install ethical leadership. Speaker, these are not just bureaucratic failures. These are moral failures. Unless we act with urgency, we will continue to lose not only infrastructure, but the trust and hope of our people. Infrastructure collapse and poor service delivery are symptoms. The real disease is corruption and incompetence among those elected to lead. Let us reform. Let us redirect resources to where they matter most. Let us finally put the people before politics. I thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. We'll move on to MK. There's no speaker listed.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. The speaker is Glenn Taibosh. The oversight visit to Ethekwini, Msunduzi and Ugu has exposed a terrifying truth. Our people are being forced to live in inhumane conditions while those in power pretend all is well. In Ethekwini, many communities have been without running water for months. What little water is available is contaminated. Wastewater treatment plants are collapsing. Raw sewage is spilling directly into the rivers and the sea. Beaches are closed. The E. coli levels are dangerously high. This is not just a failure of civils delivery, but people's lives are in danger. Children are playing near poisoned rivers. Communities are forced to drink and wash in polluted water. This is a public health disaster, and it's happening under the watch of the so-called Government of National Unity. 36 billion in unauthorized and wasteful spending has been swept under the carpet in Msunduzi. We caught the CFO red-handed trying to manipulate books to hide 181 million rand in write-offs. In this new normal under the GNU, lie to the public, protect your friends, keep your job. Senior posts are left vacant. Municipal managers are suspended for years without replacement. The ANC-DA alliance in these councils act like nothing is wrong. This is not governance. It's organized decay and it's killing our municipalities. This will not happen under the MK party. Even mining royalties meant for Nkosi and communities are being blocked. Richards Bay Minerals stop payments to Nkosi, and government let this happen. Who benefits? Not the poor, only the people that owns Richards Bay Minerals. This is what the GNU represents. Cover-ups, corruption, and collapse. The MK party will not be part of the silence. We demand full criminal investigations into municipal mismanagement. We demand functioning wastewater plants. We demand safe drinking water, and we demand that those who fail the people must face the law, no matter what party they belong to. To our people, do not reward failure with your vote. The so-called GNU is not your salvation. It's more like your suffering. Jigijela Ngamalala, Jigijela. Reject them at the polls. They must go. Gwaza MK, Gwaza. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Taibash. We will now have the speaker from the EFF. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Oh, congratulations. Now the MK is sharing the session. Nevertheless, Chairperson, the economic freedom fighters participated in this oversight visit, and we saw firsthand the destruction of governance in the province of KwaZulu-Natal under the stewardship of the GNU. The report itself is a catalogue of millions examples on how not to run a municipality. Take, for example, the report by the Auditor General, which indicated that the Ethekwini municipality was undercharging residents for water. What was the response of the municipality? Well, they simply sent the residents ballooned invoices with no scientific evidence on how they calculated the residents' municipal bills. They thought they should just simply go from undercharging residents to overcharging them. Or you can simply observe the comedy of errors the city makes with regard to their legal obligation to pay service providers. There is one service provider they owe 30 million to, and this was challenged in a court of law, and the city lost. Their response, well, they just decided to pay interest on the principal amount they owe and not the debt itself. You would think things can't be worse than that. Well, you then go to the Msunduzi municipality. In that municipality, Chair, the Speaker of the Council has been occupying a municipal house unlawfully for years, even making umcimbi, shisimpepo, abize izinyanya zakubo in that house. This was raised several times to the authorities in that municipality, but no one seems to care because they don't care. They don't care about people, they don't care about anything. The municipality had its payroll people who are imprisoned for years, people who are in jail for committing crime. They get paid by Msunduzi municipality. Not just salaries, Chair, but bonuses as well. All these are just from scratching the surface at those municipalities. The road is deep and there is no accountability of any kind. Not from municipality, not from the provincial government, and certainly not from the national government. The result is that there are no services of any kind provided to residents in these municipalities. People are on their own, while their leaders are living large and some are in America acting like slaves, kneeling down towards Donald Trump as their master. The report does not seem to fully appreciate the nature of the problems in those municipalities. So therefore, Chair, we reject this report.
Thank you, Honorable Karibi. The next speaker will be from the IFP, Honorable Buthelezi. Thank you. Honorable Buthelezi.
Honorable Chairperson, it's Honorable Hadebe.
Please go ahead.
I will take this debate on behalf of Honorable Buthelezi. Honorable Chairperson, the Oversight report identifies systemic failures across the 3 municipalities. Key challenges include financial mismanagement, poor and non-existent consequence management, consistently ineffectual administrators often exacerbating the situation, poor service delivery, high vacancy rates in technical positions, corruption allegations, and marginalization of traditional leadership in local governance. We are concerned by the deterioration of local government in these areas. The people of these municipalities continue to suffer due to intermittent water supply, sanitation failures, and sewer spillages, especially in Uku, inadequate refuse removal, and deteriorating road networks in Msunduzi, allegations of cadre deployment and political patronage, hampering the ability of councils to act decisively and transparently, and delays in implementing Section 139 intervention, often too late or poorly supported. Moreover, we call for the depoliticization of municipalities to restore professionalism, efficiency, and accountability. Municipal administrations must be shielded from political interference so they operate as service-driven institutions, not political party extensions. The IFP believes that local government is the heartbeat of service delivery and the first point of contact between the people, between the state and the people. The failings in these municipalities reflect a broader crisis that must be addressed with urgency, resolve, and respect for ethical leadership. While we note the report of the Portfolio Committee, the IFP calls for an intensified focus on implementation, monitoring, and accountability. The people of KwaZulu-Natal deserve better. In consideration of the above, the IFP accepts the report. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Buthelezi. The next speaker will be from the PA, Honorable Van Wyk. You may have the floor.
Chairperson, thank you very much. Chairperson, thank you very much and congratulations for chairing this meeting. The Patriotic Alliance wishes to rise on behalf of the people of KZN. The community submissions highlight a range of concerns in requiring municipal and governmental interventions across Mlazi, Msunduzi, Ethekwini, and Ugu. The key issues include Mlazi and Msunduzi, the municipal debt. Residents faces unexplained high outstanding amounts. The water access. Communities struggle with securing a reliable water supply. The municipal accountability. Complaints are often ignored by local authorities. The illegal connections and sewer spillages. Unauthorized utility connections and sewer problems threaten public health. KZN Cooperative should provide a diagnostic report on the root causes of the problems in Ethekwini, while the mayor and the MEC should lead efforts to resolve tensions between Ethekwini Metro and KZN Cooperative. Additionally, a review of compulsory water insurance is necessary due to alleged technical loopholes reducing payouts. Municipal oversight reports due by 15 October 2024. The municipality must submit reports on suspension of the municipal manager, the 27 million rand sponsorship deal with Royal AM Football Club, and the theft of 28 firearms from municipal premises, overpayments of 2 senior managers, 181 million rand irregular expenditure and its investigation. Ugo. The reports include progress update on the intervention through Ugo Water and Sanitation War Room, breakdown of 117 million rand water services infrastructure grant, including expenditures, oversight mechanisms, contracts, and procurement details. Clarification on 129 million rand funding allocation, as conflicting information exists between the national and provincial disaster management. Resumption of the Ntumvunu power supply upgrade project, which has stalled due to an intergovernmental dispute. Community and development in business. Background.
Thank you, Honorable Van Wyk. Your time has expired.
These actions aims to improve governance, financial accountability, and infrastructure stability and community participation. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Van Wyk. The next speaker will be from Action SA. Action SA. Do you have a speaker from Action SA?
Yes, we do.
No?
Thank you. No, we do. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead.
On behalf of Honorable Khosi Letlape, I'm Honorable Lerato Ngobeni. House Chairperson Action SA supports the Portfolio Committee's report and commends the thorough oversight across the Ethekwini, Msunduzi, Ugu, and Mhlathuze municipalities. In Ethekwini, serious issues persist despite some improvements in stability following the election of a new mayor. Non-revenue water losses exceed 50%, infrastructure damaged during the 2022 floods remain unrepaired, and there is a visible lack of urgency in addressing basic service failures. The strained relationship between the Metro and KZN COGTA undermines coordinated governance and must be resolved immediately. The billing crisis in Ethekwini is unacceptable, Chair. Residents are being charged for services not rendered. Ward committees are barely functional and oversight mechanisms are weak. The MEC's suggestion that Section 139 intervention may be warranted is noted. The financial situation in Msunduzi remains alarming. The municipality's aspiration to attain metro status is entirely premature. A voluntary financial recovery plan is in place, but the 181 million in irregular expenditure written off by the council without evidence of thorough investigation cannot go unchallenged. Service delivery failures, water outages, and illegal electricity connections plague communities. The Ugu district remains financially unstable. It is an ongoing concern. Water access is poor, sewer infrastructure is failing, and the municipality depends unsustainably on tankers. Despite these challenges, disaster grant disbursements have been incomplete and must be clarified. Action SA supports the committee's call for Section 139(5) interventions where appropriate and insists on full accountability, proper consequence management, and urgent delivery of outstanding reports, especially in Msunduzi and Ugu. Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, House Chairperson.
Thank you, Action SA. The next speaker will be from ICDP. Thank you very much. Okay, if there's no speaker from ICDP, we'll go on to UDM. Is there a speaker from UDM? No speaker from UDM, then we'll move on to RISE. RISE Mzati. Any speaker from RISE? No. Speaker from ATM? Is there a speaker from ATM? No. Speaker from Al-Jamar? No speaker from Al-Jamar. Speaker from NCC? No speaker from NCC. Speaker from UAT? No speaker from UAT. We will call in on the ANC.
Thank you, House Chair. The state of local government in our country is one of defined by numerous challenges that stand in the way of service delivery to the people. Beside the progress that South Africa has made, it is gradually being eroded by the dysfunctionality, mismanagement of funds, and lack of delivery of water and energy to the people. As members of parliament in this house, the legislative arms of the state, we are required, amongst other our functions, to conduct oversight over government departments and to assess the implementation of the programs, and that to differ and of different institutions and entities of government. These programs and that of different institutions, entities of the government. This program is important task which give at time hope to the ordinary citizens and bring fear to those who do not perform optimally to service our people. Moreover, during this visit, we must engage with citizens to understand their issues in line with the preliminary findings we have from the reports from the departments or from complaints and petitions from our people. It is from the premises outlined that the Portfolio Committee of Corporate Governments and Traditional Affairs conducted an oversight visit in KwaZulu-Natal in 3 municipalities at Ethekwini, Msunduzi, and Ugu. The aim was to assess programs and understand epidemics impacting the adequate functions of the municipalities. The reports highlighted the most known challenges facing local government: political instability, financial mismanagement, water and energy challenges, criminality, and public participation issues related to the dysfunctionality of also the ward committees. Notwithstanding their challenges, it is important to highlight that Ethekwini is stable politically and administratively. However, political and administrative stability does not automatically translate into improvements in service delivery. This fact is highlighted in their report by the lack of service delivery in Msunduzi municipality and Ugu, where water challenges are in a serious acceptable state. The matter of illegal electricity connection in Msunduzi is a matter that impacts on the finances of the municipality. It is also an energy issue affecting the entire country, and therefore, while it might be localized dealing with, it needs a national response. Moreover, as our mandate as the Portfolio Committee includes matters related to traditional communities and traditional leaders, that is to what inform our engagement in the community of Umhlathuze, where there is a dispute between the traditional authority and the Richards Bay minerals. This issue is being attended by the Department of Cooperative and the Department of Mineral and Petroleum Resources. As the African National Congress, we value this kind of work that places us closer to the people whose mercy we govern on behalf. We place so much emphasis that the work we do, it's not ours, but for our people. We further encourage the people to continue to engage Parliament through its channels and reach out to members of Parliament for assistance. However, through our constituency work, we will continue to work with people and elevate their issues to this House for resolution. The ANC believe that in order to unleash economic growth and create jobs and ethical, capable development, state, local government must be fixed because the well-being of our people depend on it. Urban economy are the real economy that boosts the country overall economy performance. It is through fixing local government that we will start to invest and space for economy opportunities to be created. Traditional leaders are two important stakeholders that hold our communities together and foster dialogues for conflict resolution. We say their role will always be valued by the ANC. That is why we attend that issue of Umhlathuze. It is for this reason that the ANC supported the report as approved by the Portfolio Committee and urged the House to consider the and approve the report as tabled. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. That concludes the debate and the business of the virtual mini plenary session. The mini plenary will now rise. I thank you all.